kinds of stuff in recovery. He's taken me to a point of trying to figure out how to do this thing. I've been baptized, and that was a hard thing. Because when some places, when you say you want to be baptized, they want you to be together first. And I have never been that. You know what I mean? It's like, I just want to be in the water. Is that all right with you? And they're like, can we do a class first? I'm thinking, no. I really don't want to do a class. I want to be baptized. And it was really weird because I just wanted, so we went through that part, just kept walking. I ended up learning to read, went and got a degree in psych and did psych nursing for a while, worked in rehab. And it was really funny. I ended up getting Carnation Bowl Award, which was an award for working with people in addictions in our community. I was a Grand Marshal on the 4th of July parade one time, and I'm thinking, who but God does that? Heroin addict in recovery, and all of a sudden I'm in the lead car going, it was just hysterical. My recovery was so fun. And then, I start praying, God, let me be in ministry. I want to be in ministry. I watch Mission Spotlight. I don't know if you have that at your church, but I cried every time. They would have this incredible thing with somebody going to another country and loving on folks, and I would just be going like, I don't want to do that. How about you? And I would look next to me and somebody would be going, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, it was just ridiculous. I wanted to be in ministry. And I thought, does God use heroin addicts in recovery? Does he use us? What if we're not together yet? Does he still use us? And the Holy Spirit would almost yell at me, yes, yes, yes. But people around me sometimes were saying, sit down until you get it together. And you know what? God was never saying that. Never did say that. And so, finally, he made an opportunity for me to tell my story in front of the entire church. And I asked him, how much do I tell? And he said, if you're not willing to tell it all, sit down. And I'm thinking, all of it? Are you kidding me? Because and he said, I'm not asking you all of it at all times, but if you're not willing to tell it honestly, then I really can't use you because the person next to you may be limited to just what you're sharing and think that her stuff is too deep or his stuff is too deep. And it's like, you've got to just be willing to tell it all. I finally got to that point where I said, okay, God, I've told this story for the first time, and from that minute on, God just started flinging doors open. And I got to tell you, my first appointment with God, before I tell you about where I got this concept of the Holy Spirit and for the recovery. So my first appointment with God, somebody calls me up. I'm at Nampa Church, and they call me up and they say, Cheri, I have this girl, she's a meth addict, and her mom ended up breaking her hip and went into the hospital, and she moved into her mom's house. She's making meth and dealing drugs out of the house, and the house is just falling apart, and everybody's crazy. Could you go over and see what you could do? And I'm thinking, wow, somebody asked me to do something. How fun is that? I think I could do that. You just take her to a meeting, get her to go to a meeting. And I'm thinking, okay. And so I end up going over there. Right? And the place is filthy. She has 4 little kids. And the little kids are starved for somebody to even look at them. And it's filthy. And I'm trying to get out. I sit on the couch, and there's 4 little kids, and they all want attention, and they're crawling all over the place. And they can't get next to me, and they're all trying to tell stories. So instead, I decide I'm going to sit on the floor. So I sit on the floor, and they are just now all around me. I get up from the floor, and my khaki pants are filthy. Because this place is just dirty. The kids are telling me all kinds of stuff. This woman is crazy. I don't know what she said the entire first time I was there, other than smoking cigarette after cigarette after cigarette, ranting and raving about something, running from room to room. Only 3 rooms, because she duct taped the entire house off except for the kitchen, the living room, and the bathroom. Everything is duct taped off, totally duct taped off. I mean, towels rolled up under the door, stuck under the door, duct tape all around that, duct tape around every window, around every door frame. She has just got everything sealed off. And I'm trying to, excuse me, but would you like to go to a meeting? And she says, I'll be right back. Just hold that for a minute because I just got to go do something. And she'll just take off, and the kids will be trying to talk, and I'm trying to talk. And finally I realized the kids are stuck in this room. And they don't have really blankets or anything. The bedrooms are all duct taped off. They don't have a lot of stuff, so I'm going to get sleeping bags. And Brad and I, do you remember getting sleeping bags for these kids? So we got some sleeping bags for them. The next time I come over, I bring over sleeping bags. She still is crazy. She's chain smoking. Cigarette after cigarette after cigarette. Her 5-year-old is coughing and she's yelling at him and spoon-feeding him Tylenol cough syrup. I remember at least 10 spoonfuls of Tylenol cough syrup into this 5-year-old's mouth on one day that I was there. And I'm thinking, man, you gotta stop, you know. And so one time I go over, and I'm going over pretty much every day. One time I go over, her 8-year-old tells me, Cherie, guess what happened last night? And I said, what? And I knew that they love telling stories about stuff. And she said she was raped by her mom's boyfriend. And I looked at her, because at first I thought, is this a story? Are you just trying to get attention? And I realized that she was not just trying to get attention. That was part of it. But the reality is that that was a true story. Her mom was selling meth. This guy came in and raped her and left. But she knew, out of all the things that the other kids were saying, I would focus in on that. And I'm thinking, I wanted this woman, I wanted to grab her by the throat, and I wanted to say, stop. Do you realize what is happening to your kids? Do you realize what's happening here? Everything is falling apart and you're crazy, you're not paying attention. And I just wanted to grab her, and I was so angry. And all of a sudden I hear the Holy Spirit say, Cherie, this is your ministry. And I said, shut up. Yeah, shut up. And I wanted to scream and yell and throw myself on the ground and say, I have never seen that in Mission Spotlight. I don't know how many Mission Spotlights you've seen, but that has not been on any of them that I saw, and I don't want to do it. I don't want to work with that. They lie and they steal and they don't even take care of their kids.